Hello, it is day 21 and 22. I am catching up slowly but surely. I'll get there eventually, but I'm doing it a lot more than what I was, so that's a plus. So I thought I videoed. I have notes here from back when I was actually training and trying to upload as I was training, but it looks like I have written down on day 18, day 18 and 19, my water had froze at my house because it was during winter. So I believe I was dealing with that. And then I wrote down that on day 20 that I did this video, but according to my Mac desktop, this was on day 21, which was February 1st. So I'm not really sure what I did. Oh, wait a minute. Day 18, the water was frozen, but day 19, I didn't get any videos, but evidently I worked on yielding the hindquarters, backing in an L, working on him picking up on my body language, and more of picking up his feet. So then I guess I just skipped day 20, and now this is day 21. So we were working on the trailer loading again because this is the trailer that I typically use when I go places. But I've been fortunate to be able to use the stock trailer quite frequently since I take more than just 2 horses when I go places now, since I have so many. So, yeah, they don't have to worry about being in this 2-horse straight load, but I love to teach all of my horses to get into the 2-horse straight load because that is a very difficult trailer for a lot of horses to load in. And if they can load in that, they can pretty much load in everything. So I really liked right there the way that he yielded to he yielded his hindquarters for me. I guess that's, according to my notes, what we had worked on day 19 and possibly even day 20, since I didn't get any videos of day 20 either. So I actually really liked watching some of these and seeing how he was. But so on this day, we worked a lot on me pretending to use the escape door. I know that this can scare a lot of horses just because you have to raise your body up next to their face, and plus the jumping and pulling yourself through the door, like a lot of quick movements that can kind of spook them. So I didn't have him tied. As you can see, I keep having to pull him back forward because he was backing up. But ended up when I pulled him up far enough, it wasn't scaring him or anything like that. So he handled it really well. But yeah, it was interesting letting him work while the dogs were barking. And at the end of these videos, well, you can see the sun's going down in these videos. But according to my notes and as I was watching the videos, I could remember later that night, or after the sun was going down, we went down to the garage there in the background, and he got to listen to the dogs up close because I think I kind of kept him away from the dogs so that he wouldn't get overwhelmed in the beginning. So, yeah, he got to experience like having a side pass and things like that. I think we were side passing already. He got to experience side passing and things like that when we went down into the garage. I asked him to do some maneuvers while the dogs were banging around on the side of the garage, so that was good for him. We set up the phone to video these. It's kind of hard to see, but basically I'm loading him in, and then I'm going to have my helper close the door, and he's not actually going to latch it, but
shut it real slow.
I know that the Mustangs, my train of thought here, and my kind of continued train of thought, is that the Mustangs, they get ran into a chute. They're forced to put up with all these things that happen to them in the chute, whether it be branding, shots, getting their feet done, anything like that.
Good boy.
And then when they're picked up, they're ran back through a chute. Some of them have a halter put on them and things like that. and then they're ran into a trailer. And depending on what your trailer type looks like, I mean, it is an enclosed area they're being cooped up in. So my thought process with Tetra was that he might get a little bit claustrophobic and spooked when the door is shut. Plus, it is later in the evening. As you can see, it's really dark. So when he was shutting that door, it was pretty dark in there. So I wanted there to be a helper to swing the door back open in case anything happened like that. But he handled it really well. He would flinch when the door would initially go shut and it would be dark in there, but then he calmed right back down. So we were also practicing the butt bar because that loud banging noise behind horses can scare them sometimes, but the butt bar is very important to not damage your trailer doors. So I use the butt bar all the time, and we practiced that. And then I didn't have him put the pin into the butt bar to keep it up just in case anything happened. He could easily reach around and just like knock the butt bar off of the little holder. That way we could have a quick escape if anything silly happened like that. So yeah, but he ended up handling that really well. So I think we pretty much ended it like that, except for going down to the garage. It was a pretty laid back day. And here we go into day 22, which was my favorite day because it was bath day. This is my other grandpa's farm. He lives a couple of minutes down the road from me, like literally a couple of miles down the road from me, thank goodness. And he has a heated wash rack. At this time, we didn't have heated water at the barn, so it was warm enough to give him a bath this day, and I knew that it wasn't cold or anything like that. He wasn't going to get sick. He was going to have plenty of time to dry. And then finally, he'd actually have some probably more proper insulation once all of the mud and poop balls are off of his belly and it's not making his hair cluster together. So we were blessed with some really good weather, and I was able to give him his first bath. And I thought this part was funny because I kind of forgot that I didn't know whether or not he had white on his front left foot because it was just so dirty and I never got a chance to actually wash all of the mud off and brush it all off, so you couldn't really tell that well. But I knew that his hoof was white, so I'm like, there has to be some, but I just wasn't sure how much. So this was so hard to get all of these balls off of his skin. It was horrible, but it's so satisfactory watching this video, though. I should have got some more artsy shots of the water going over those poop balls. He handled it really well. I didn't keep him tied just in case he had like a freak out or anything and he started having a little meltdown. I could easily, take him away from the situation ever. So in the beginning, I've noticed that a lot of horses are more scared of the sound that the hose can make when you turn it on and off. So in the beginning, I always introduce my horses to the sound of the hose being on, spraying on different objects, making different noises and things like that first. So that's what I was doing in the very beginning when I was having my helper spray the hose and making sure that he was comfortable with the noises that it was making before starting in on him. This took so long. I really can't remember how long this ended up taking, but I had to do so much of this brushing and respraying. They were just so packed on and so thick. It was taking a lot of time for the water to soak all the way through the ball and loosen it up enough to where it would break off. And I feel so bad for him because I'm like brushing them off, but I made sure that they were really loosened up. I wasn't forcing them to come off, but it was so hard to get those all off there. And just look at all that poop and mud and stuff on the floor. It was crazy. His hair is so long and thick in this video, his winter coat. Aren't bath videos just therapeutic? They're therapeutic for me. So I really don't like my Grandpa Jim's hose for when you start introducing their face, because even though I have it on a really low setting, it's kind of like a powerful little hose end. So you can see that even though it's like barely spraying, when it would hit his face, the water would just go flying everywhere. I thought that looked kind of funny. I had to put it on slow-mo. So I thought that he would be really wound up and want to like play with me in the barn aisle. But he really was not feeling playful after that. But he was probably a little worn out because that was a lot of information for him to take in. So then afterward, we went right behind the barn and I hand grazed him and let him dry off and play out in the warmth. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Bye.